What's up guys, my G Fuel code is 30% off right now. You can click the link in the comments to visit their store. So right now everything's about Void 3.0, and while you're playing Void you want to be using a Void weapon to take advantage of volatile rounds, Phantom Might, and even some exotic perks. And the hot new one has been the Funnel Web, which is a great SMG, pretty much the Recluse 2.0. But what I've noticed the past week is with both volatile flow or volatile rounds from the fragment and things like Phantom Might, it doesn't really matter what Void weapon you're using. The only thing that is important is using a Void weapon in general, because such a high percent of your damage output is going to be through the volatile rounds. So my question in the past week or so is trying to find the best weapon to pair with different builds for Void 3.0. And as you see with the Funnel Web, yeah, with Adrenaline Junkie times 5 or Frenzy, you're gonna be increasing your damage by a good chunk, but as you see, once volatile rounds proc on practically any enemy in the game, it's gonna die and explode and kill everything nearby. So for example, if you just use a green Void SMG that is 1350 light level, so way under leveled, and a green weapon with no perks, as you see, once I have Phantom Might and volatile rounds going, it feels more or less the exact same, right? Because once the volatile procs on the enemy, they're just dead. The only time you might feel a slight difference is on the higher health targets, but when like 70-80% of your DPS is tied to volatile flow, it doesn't really matter what weapon you're using at all. So for a lot of builds, it makes a lot more sense to, instead of going for damage perks, go for utility based perks. So I went deep into my vault and tried to find the most unique Void weapons I could use with Void 3.0, and the first one I had to get a flamethrower to dust off the cobwebs. And yeah, you see this? I kill this SMG, but it's Void. So 4 years ago with Warmind, when it first came out, you could get the Icalis SMG, then change it to whatever element you want, and as long as you still had it in your vault when they made the change to the new system, it still is Void. And I deleted mine a while ago due to just making so many YouTube videos and my vault overflowing. But as you see, Ember still has his, and it has no perk options, just the generic Seraph rounds and the Disruption Break. And it is long sunset, so it's 1350 light level. But as we showed off with the green SMG, if you're playing stuff on the map, so a lot of the stuff in the game is still 1350 light, and it feels just the same as practically every other weapon in the game. And once you proc the Phantom Might and the volatile flow, you're going to be tearing through enemies the same as if you were using the Funnel Web. But now we can put it on global reach and create Warmind cells every 5 kills with this weapon, and further increase our ad clear potential and just take it to the next level. But the thing about this being sunset is it obviously will not be worthwhile for harder content in the game. So even 1550 stuff, which is like the base level of the raid, the Legend Lost sectors, and Nightfalls, as you'll see when you put this weapon on, it will drastically drop your overall light level, and obviously the weapon is gonna be like 200 under. And at that point, you definitely feel the difference, and it's definitely not worth using it anymore. So this is more so a funny thing you can show off while playing base level activities. If you still have one, which I doubt there's even like 100 to 200 people in the world that still have this thing, is probably that rare. So the one that I think is gonna be better and actually usable is gonna be the Seraph sidearm, which has not been sunset and comes with a really good roll of demo in the left and surrounded in the right. And obviously this thing is Void and can create Warmind cells. And this one is probably my favorite to use. One, because it has demo, which will make it extremely good for getting your grenade back when you pair it with Devour on all 3 characters. Then once you have Surrounded and Phantom Might procced, you're hitting like 6,000 damage per headshot, which is way more than even hand cannons. So you're gonna be like one-shotting everything, and the DPS output of this with volatile flow is just absolutely insane. You're gonna be one-shotting practically every red bar in the game. Then you'll be getting your grenade so fast that just throwing a grenade will reload it. Then when I use it on Hunter, I also use Marksman Dodge to reload the weapon from the dodge. So more or less never have to reload, doing crazy amounts of damage while surrounded by enemies. Then you have volatile flow for the crazy group ad clear, proccing the Warmind cells. Then what I've been using with this and the Icalis SMG is you can pair it with the Wither Horde and take advantage of the old trick of shooting Wither Horde on the ground, then swapping over to the Seraph Icalis weapon, and the Wither Horde kills will then count towards creating Warmind cell. Before you know it, there'll be all kinds of them all over the place. And one of my subs aren't as good as they used to be, but since it only costs one mod slot to use them, I definitely still think it's worth the investment. The only issue with this weapon is you can no longer farm it, and I don't even think it's part of the road loot pool. The only way to get it is from vendors, and Zur has one this week. It's not a good one, but if you don't have one, definitely pick it up. And if there's ever a vendor with one with demo on the left, definitely let me know on Twitter, and I'll probably make a video letting you guys all know. But what I think is the best Void weapon to pair with Void 3.0 is the Every Waking Moment from the Moon, because it can get Wellspring in the right, and it is a 600 RPM SMG, which a lot of people like. Then in the left you can get Ambitious or even Subsistence. And this weapon can still be farmed to this day from the Moon. The role I just showed off, I just farmed out yesterday, and it only took me like 3 tries, so I'll definitely farm out some more of these roles I'm about ready to show you. All you have to do is pick up this Essence of Obscurity and do a few activities and get SMG kills. And you can farm out over and over again. And there's a lot of really good roles on this weapon, so you can get the Funnel Web role of Adrenaline Junkie and Subsistence or Ambitious, or you can even get Multi-Kill Clip, which will be the highest damage buff at 50%. You can get Dragonfly, which could be a really cool combo with Volatile Flow, and then the Wellspring plus Sub or Ambitious. And now with this, you're still going to have all that great ad clear of all the Void weapons I showed off so far once you have Font of Might and the Volatile rounds. But now with Wellspring, it's unpaired perfectly with any build of choice on all 3 characters. So for example, on my Hunter build, I'm generally using my Dodge and my Grenade the most. And with Wellspring, I'm going to be getting a chunk of both of those on every single kill back and getting them much faster. But then let's say if I was playing Titan and using my melee and my grenade, it would then work for both my melee and grenade. Let's say I'm only using one main, for example my grenade, I'd be getting the same chunk of my grenade back as I would be with Demolitionist. So overall it just fits in perfectly with whatever build you're using, and it's a 600 RPM Void SMG, which is one of the best weapon types in the game. So overall I think there's a strong case that this is better than Funnel Web for Void 3.0 builds, just because of the fact that a damage perk is kind of overkill, because if you're using a good build with very high uptime on Volatile Flow, you don't really need that extra damage, which means using something like Wellspring to get your abilities back just makes way more sense, and that'll help you proc more and more Elemental Wells, which means even higher uptime on the Volatile rounds, and it'll just chain easier and easier. And yeah, I think that's gonna be it for the video. I just want to talk about how everyone's been using Funnel Web, including myself. While I think there are better options in the game, for example the Seraph Sidearm or the Every Waking Moment. Anyways, once again, my code ERROR is 30% off for G Fuel. Definitely take advantage of that. You can click the link in the comments or description. It'll take you over to their store and automatically apply my discount code. They have all kinds of really good flavors, so find something that sounds good to you, go ahead and try it out or stock up on your faves. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.
Signatures in a facility up ahead. I don't like this.